It is that time where we get to spend a couple weeks in Indianapolis at the track known for the greatest spectacle in racing. Tonight, we're going to turn left and right, though. We're not going to hit the big oval yet. That's still 3 weeks away. Tonight, we hit the road course. Sorta. The road course, what I mean by that is the bike course. In Indy cars, it's possible. I've seen it before, and it's going to be done again tonight as we welcome you in to round number 7 of the VOR IndyCar Series presented by Apex Sage Coaching at the Indianapolis Grand Prix. It is round number 7 of this championship season. 79 degrees, 53% humidity under partly cloudy skies, and a little wind, but it's going to be a beautiful day here. Now, what is different from the moto course to the Grand Prix course? Well, the biggest difference is, and I don't know how to word this, technically they're racing backwards on the track, but the way Indianapolis was built, they're technically going the right way on the track. Instead of going towards turn 1, which would be on the road course, the turn 4 area of the oval, they're actually going to the left and going counterclockwise into the infield section near the end of pit road into what is their turn 1, and pretty much running this Indianapolis road course backwards. That is pretty much the only way for me to put it. So that is what we're in store for here tonight in the road course here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the moto course. So we're looking forward to seeing some fun here in just a couple of moments. Let's look at the points right now, because one thing is for sure, the Alex Van de Sande show is taking over again. After 3 wins in the last 4 races, Alex Van de Sande is starting to pull away from Nicholas Sadiq. He passed him in the points a couple weeks ago and now has an 18-point advantage after his win last week in Richmond. He leads by 18, and then it's a big gap down to Dakota DeMay in third. Mitchell Riggs, Thomas Geisler, your top 5 in the points standings as we enter this 7th race of the season. Here's the schedule of what's coming up. Of course, tonight, as I mentioned, a bike course for 57 laps. And then after that, we take a week off and come back for the 300-miler here at the Speedway on March the 28th. And that'll lead us into the last few races going into April and May, the Milwaukee Mile, the Streets of Detroit, Nashville Superspeedway, and Homestead Miami Speedway. So we have got some great racing to go as qualifying is just wrapping up here, and we are getting ready for 57 laps of action around this Indianapolis moto course, which should be a very fun race. All right, so the grid is being set, and, well, let's just say, not really surprised, but what we're going to see on the front row tonight, Alex Van de Sande on the pole alongside Nicholas Sadiq, the 2 best drivers so far this season. They will start number 1 and number 2 in the field. Dakota DeMay will start next to Sebastian Kinder in row number 2. Julian Altina, who is under the weather. He is here tonight. He literally just got in the room a little bit ago. He is not feeling too good right now. Let's just say that. He's going to try to get through this race. So we'll see and hope for him, obviously, to do pretty well in this thing. He'll start next to Matt Houston, Craig Forsyth, James Watson, Cameron Boston, Thomas Geisler, Gary Godso. That's your 11 guys who are going to race here tonight in this race. So we'll see how this thing goes. I think we're in line for what is going to be a good race. But we'll see how it all transpires. So cars are gridding. There they are right there on the front straightaway. As I said, they're going to go towards the actual Speedway Turn 1. The difference is they will go into the infield on the bike course for the 57 laps here this evening. Almost all the cars have gridded. There's the field right there for you. Waiting for Sudik to grid. Hopefully he'll do so. That could be big implications if he does not. There he is. All right, so we're good to go now. And the pace car will roll off and head down towards turn number 1 of this racetrack on the formation lap as they roll off. We'll go down into this part. Will be known as turn 1, obviously. And now this is still the old track, basically, when I say the road course part. So you're going to notice the grass over here where normally it's asphalt now on the speedway in the road course. They still have not updated the actual Indianapolis road course yet. So you're going to see a lot of the older model here of the track. But a lot of these drivers like this bike course that can run in the IndyCar. It's kind of like putting a race together at the Watkins Glen track without the bootleg. It's something that you could do on this sim, but not necessarily something you'll do in real life ever again because of, you know, just either tragic events that have happened or so on and so forth. So in this case, you would think an IndyCar would not be able to go around the Indianapolis bike course. They work their way up Holman straightaway. Now, I have thought of the idea. Now, it's something I'll never be able to put into play until they update the track, but I have thought of the idea of what would happen if they put the stock cars that just started running this track last season, if they ran it backwards on the road course. Thought that might be kind of interesting. All right, through the final section. As I mentioned, 57 laps tonight will make up this race as Van de Sant tries to go for another win, which would be his 4th in 5 races, as he has started his march to another championship and a three-peat. Indianapolis, arguably his best track that he races at. And will tonight that continue on the road courses? Here we go. Racing to the green flag. Indianapolis, it's round 7 of the Apex Stagecoach and IndyCar Series. Down to turn 1. Can everybody make it through? Oh, and around goes Julian Altina. Craig Forsyth getting a piece of it also. Who is that also? Oh, Cameron Boston getting a piece. 3 cars involved at turn 2. Let's see how this starts. Down into the corner. Oh, contact between Houston and the 31 of Altona. Get another view of this. Ah, that's not what I wanted to do. Here we go. There's the contact. As they cross the line, Van de Sant leading already 7/10 of a second. Gary Godso on pit road in a 3-car. Not sure if this is a start and park deal for him or if he got some damage maybe from the wreck. I know Gary normally does not run the road courses. Oh, Alex almost overcooked the S's here. They race their way down the home and straight. As always, our cameras tonight presented by Track Cams 4 Gourmet. You can check out the cameras online, trackcams22.com. Also on the iRacing forums and on Facebook. The technical section of this course. A lot of this infield very technical. Sudik knocking it down 4/10 of a second here. He's got some draft. First gear and around this very slow portion right here as they wind their way back onto the oval. Fourth gear all the way around this tight left-hander and then through the S section. Then leads them on the home and straightaway. And right here is normally where that chicane is on the new track. But obviously that's still not here yet, so they run the old portion here, which is actually still in existence, but it doesn't get used really anymore. Van de Sant with a much better lap that time by as Dakota's on push to pass there behind Sudik, who's about a second back. Last time by a 26-1 for Sudik. Sebastian Kinder here in the 97 car running in the 4th position. Matt Houston, of course, trailing him. Team Watson, number 97, doing a good job here. You see Dakota DeMay, who came off a good run at Richmond last week, a top 3 finish for him. He's been getting his wits about him here in the series this season. Just looking to make that next step and get himself into victory lane. To do that, you got to continue to be consistent, be fast, run, and get good finishes, and eventually that win will come. Now, one strategy we should talk about here that is going on is the tires. If you look, Alex Van de Sant, he's on those primary black sidewall tires. You'll see on the one car there. Look behind him, you see Sadiq is on the alternate red sidewall tires. Now, the alternate red tires are fast for a good bit. A lot more grip, a lot quicker. But unfortunately, as you know, when you get a lot more grip, it wears quicker. So that's the primary difference between the two tires, is that those red sidewall tires get a lot more grip but fall off a lot quicker than these black sidewall tires. But eventually the cars will have to flip-flop and run the opposite tire during this race. So that is one of the unique stipulations, I guess we'll call it, or rules in the series that you see in most open wheel series like this, is you got to run the alternate set of tires at one point in the race. Now, sometimes during the race, those tires are faster. And then there's other times where you get to some tracks where the black sidewall tires are faster. Van de Sant cutting up some dirt there as he works his way through turn 1, 2, 3, and 4 section, I believe this is here. Thomas Geisler back here, 7th position for him. He's about 2.5, almost 3 seconds back of the 6th place James Watson. As Gary Godso actually coming back on track after about a 5-minute stay, so he must have had some damage that had to get fixed. Unfortunate deal there for the 3 car. When you watch this track and watch the racing around here, you can't help but be appreciative of what the work that the Tony George family and then now the Penske Entertainment Group that have worked on this road course portion of the track to make it look really cool and really good. Of course, when this build was put out on iRacing, with the old surface, you see the old rumble strips and some of the wall area and stuff. It's just you realize how much prettier the layout is now on the track. There's Gary out here logging laps. I saw something this week on social media that you normally don't see much of when talking about a specific driver and stuff on iRacing. Normally you see chats about like which Coca-Cola series guy is the best driver or whatever, things like that. But I saw an interesting tweet from a young man, and it kind of caught my eye this week. It was about Alex Van de Sant, and he said that he'll argue this pretty much to the end. He feels that Alex Van de Sant is the best IndyCar driver on iRacing. And I got to think about it, and it's like, man, when you look at some of the people that race in the open wheel series, of course, there's some fantastic series out there. And I haven't seen enough to be able to argue or not argue that point. But at the same time, it's like you see how talented this young man is. I mean, he's out here working on his craft every week, and gets out here and runs hard each and every week and wins races. I mean, as you're seeing right now, as he continues his streak potentially tonight, of wins in this series. Back here, let's go to a battle for third. Dakota DeMay trying to hold off Sebastian Kinder for the third spot. The Sunset Arctic Games number 82. If Kinder can get the run off of the corner here, a little bit of wheel spin as they try to get it back up to speed. You see how smooth you got to be. A lot of very slow corners here at this track. Because that's where you see a lot of the wheel spin happening in these cars, especially on these alternate red sidewall tires. The start-finish line, 9 laps complete, and now I think we're in that part of the race where you're starting to see the tires make that transition for the primaries being faster than the alternates. You look now, Van de Zandt has pulled away to almost a 2-second lead in this race. As Julian Altena comes to pit road in the 31 car, trying to fight through this race, you know, with the illness he has. Hopefully he's doing okay. I reached out to him just a couple hours ago as I got home from work. As look at this. Dakota says, Sebastian, you're hounding me. You're faster. Go on by. So Kinder moving up to the third position. But I reached out to Julian just to get the information I get for each race, and he's like, hey, man, I'm in bed actually right now, not feeling good. He said, if I can get up and get to my computer, I'll get everything for you. And I was like, oh, that's not good. So, you know, glad to see him here, but yeah, it looks like he came in, 8-second stop, got tires and fuel, and is back on the track. So check back here, James Watson in the 39. I've said it each week I've seen James on track. You just see the improvement of this young man in an open wheel car. Doing a great job, running 6th. Now Craig Forsyth there behind him. Of course, Craig with a little bit of damage from a lap 1 accident there in the turn 2 section. Watson a little bit off track there. Got to be careful. Meanwhile, look at this. Dakota back past Sebastian. But this fight continues on here. Both on push to pass here. Sebastian thinking about diving in here. And he thinks better of it. Oh, Dakota gets a little wide. And, oh, this is a tough place to go side by side. That crossover coming. Oh, nope, he actually decided not to. Great job by Dakota to protect that bottom side. Well, Julian Alternate just ran the fastest lap of the race, a 25.4 on alternate tires. So, question's going to be, when does that bring everybody else to pit road here? With him pitting at that point in the race, does that make this a two-stopper for him? Matt Houston, the 66 car, unfortunately was involved in that accident there on lap 1. All right. What was for lunch? How technical you got to be around here. Up the Holman straightaway. Let's check out. Actually, let's jump to Dakota DeMay. He's on pit road here. See the yellow cone there? That is where the speed limit starts, all the way down this long pit road. And in his stall he is. 4 tires and fuel. Now they use the normal exit off of pit road like you see on the IndyCar track. So they go careful though. You don't want to go off the track right there, but they blend right on back into the track here. And Dakota should slide in right in front of Sebastian there. Or I'm sorry, Cameron. Sorry, just got his name mixed up with the hometown I'm from in Florida. James Watson's had a couple issues on track, and that has cost him a position. Craig Forsyth has gone by, and now Thomas Geisler putting the pressure on back here. You just hear the car sliding around. These tires are roasted. Looks like James going to be holding off Geisler for right now. Geisler getting by James there after an issue, it looks like, for the 39, so Geisler has gone by. And of course he did it at the moment I turned my head away from the camera, or from the computer for a second. Hey, could you do me a favor and make sure you pass him while I'm looking, please? That'd be great. So Alex Van de Sant now out to a 7-second lead. So those prime tires have definitely heated up, and Alex is just driven away from that 87 car. Sebastian doing a great job there in the third position. There he is, the teammate to James Watson. And you got Matt Houston about 6 seconds back. Craig Forsyth now in the top 5. Watching Julian Altena really closely to see how he's faring right now. Of course, he went out there and ran that 25.4 a few laps back as he swapped over to the prime tires. The S's on the Holman straightaway. So we'll see 40 laps to go next time by. You got to wonder, with some of these cars already coming to pit road, what kind of strategy we're seeing here. And of course, the obvious question, can anybody run with Alex? Alex still out here running 25.9s. Everybody else is running 27s and 28s except Julian, who's on a 26.8 last time by. So, not sure what it is, but obviously the prime tires are a big factor in this, but Alex is just straight faster than everybody. I'm going to use a quote. A couple of these guys in here are wrestling fans. Going to use the MJF quote. He's better than you, and he knows it, and you know it. Well, we appreciate everybody watching tonight here on the Velocity Online Racing channel. Of course, partnering with the Captain Esports Network as you watch the Indy Grand Prix, round number 7 of the Apex Stage Coaching IndyCar Series. From the bike course, the MotoGP course of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's a course that some people might argue that you could run an IndyCar race on. But I think a majority of us would agree. I'm not sure if it's possible. Here, let's go on board with, we're going to go aboard with Alex. I'm going to turn the speed on, and let's watch a lap and see what kind of speeds he's running out here. As Thomas Geisler comes to pit road in the 16. Just muscling that car around. About 177 miles an hour down to turn 1. As you see Geisler coming off pit road. Let's hope Geisler sees Alex. He does and yields to him. $46-mile-an-hour through that hairpin left-hander. Let's compare that. The Long Beach course. Turn 11. Speeds up at about 35 to 40 miles an hour. So they are near a Long Beach speed when they go through that corner over at the hairpin as they come back onto the track. Ooh, hold on, Alex. Double apex corner there to the left-hander. Cameron Boston coming to pit road. All right, Sadiq's on pit road. Here comes the 87 in. 55-mile-an-hour speed limit on pit road. And one of the longer pit roads you'll go on, so this takes forever. The 87 pulling into a stall, 4 tires, fuel, swapping over to the prime tires here. Of course, next week, we mentioned off week for us as we get ready for the Speedway in the oval portion, the 6th season, I should say, that you will see the 300-miler at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And for Alex Van de Sant, he'll be going for his 4th straight win in this race. I talked about it earlier, how well he runs at Indianapolis. I don't know what it is, but from the time I started broadcasting here and then also over on, at the time, the TI series and stuff, I couldn't help but be amazed what kind of racing you saw from him at this track. As Matt Houston on pit road, Craig Forsyth is coming in. A lot of these guys at lap number 21, these guys splitting it up into a 2-stop race. You see Craig pull into a stall as Matt pulls away. Matt with a 10.1 second stop. Let's see what Craig does. .3 there, so. And now Alex coming to pit road. The leader in. It looks like Sebastian Kinder coming there behind him. So pit stops, lap number 22. Alex on the prime tires again, so he's going to save his race on the alternate reds to the end of this race. So interesting strategy call there by the one. James Watson now on pit road, so pretty much everybody at this point now has been to pit road to swap out the tires and put fuel in the car. .1, so Watson not the fastest stop. Maybe he had some damage or something he had to fix. But that cycles everybody around, so let's go through the field here and see where everyone runs. And, you know, as we mentioned the last couple weeks, it's been the Alex Van de Sant show. He led every lap at Richmond last week, all 175, and now he's led all 23 tonight. So he's working on nearly 200 straight laps led in this VOR IndyCar series. He's got 15 seconds now over Nicholas Sudik. Nick doing everything he can in that 87 car to just keep it close. In the Ohio DDR car. Third position right now, Sebastian Kinder, as I mentioned. He is 1.1 seconds over Dakota DeMay. You see Dakota right there behind him. All these guys on the prime sidewall tires. There's Dakota. I take that back. Dakota's actually on the alternate tires. There's Matt Houston, 5th position for him. Matt doing a good job running in the 5th position there. Craig Forsyth, 6th position. He is about 10 seconds behind Matt. Craig, a pretty interesting follower on Twitter. If you get a chance to give him a follow, do so. He races almost every night. It's not a night where I don't see him posting something about a race he's run in a league. He's had some good luck. He's had some bad luck here and there. Tonight doing okay in the 6th position. Of course, was involved in the accident there on lap 1. And then comes to the interesting position of the race. Julian Altada, 7th position here. And I say interesting because of the strategy here. Julian pitted back at lap number 9. Now, if you've never heard of the term undercut, it is where you pit early to try to jump a couple cars. And that's exactly what has happened here, as he has passed 3 cars while he stayed out on the track after the pit stop and has jumped ahead of them. The only negative to this is that Julian will have to be back on pit road in about the next 5 or so laps. And what will likely be a 3-stop race for him. Behind Julie in 7th position, James Watson. James running up in the top 5 just a little bit ago, but unfortunately has had some issues. Ninth on the track, Thomas Geisler. Thomas in the Sunset Arctic Games race versus car. The German-born driver running 9th right now. And then the last car on the track, Cameron Boston, who is unfortunately a little ways behind. He is a lap down right now. He's had his off-track issues and stuff, but still out there fighting. Was also involved in that wreck a little bit ago, and apparently he's not afraid to buy somebody lunch. There you go, gone through the field. As we hit 30 to go next time by. So Nick has done a good job of keeping his lead pretty level for the most part at 16 seconds. Last time by actually was about a half second faster. It's a good thing, but to do it for multiple laps in a row to try to knock that time down is the challenge here. Let's check back on the fight that continues to happen, 3rd and 4th position. As Kinder is slowly pulled away from Dakota. It's 1.6 seconds. Yeah, I go back to a couple months ago. Me and some friends ran an IndyCar series for a season. And one of the tracks we actually ran a race on, it's one that you would never expect. Well, I mean, I guess you can kind of expect it, but you would expect it to be the oval track. And I talk about Homestead Miami Speedway. We actually ran a Roval race there, running the infield road course that came out onto the track, and you ran all the way around turn 3 and 4 on the oval to the start-finish line in an IndyCar, and it turned out to be actually a pretty good race. So again, on a sim like this, it just amazes me some of the stuff that you can actually go out here and do that, you know, would it exactly be imitated on a real-life race? Absolutely not. Wonder how much Julian is just fighting. You can hear him coasting his way all the way through that portion of the track there. That was pretty interesting to hear. You know, a lot of it is being technical here. Julian 7th right now. He's about 11 seconds behind Craig Forsyth for 6th. So there's a chance he could catch the Canadian-born driver. James about 15 seconds behind Julian right now. He's about 3 seconds ahead of Thomas Geisler. Still in this race, 27 laps to go. Race just flying on by. And Alex with a little issue. Off the track he goes and spins it out. Does it Danny Sullivan, puts it back in gear. I said earlier, we're all human. No one's perfect. Let's go back and watch it again here. Gets a little tail happy through the and his back end just comes around there. He's over near the what would be the normal road course turn 1 section, turn 2, and he gets back on the asphalt there. I don't know if it was a bump or the car bottomed out or something, but it just turned around on him. That might be a sign to tell you how these tires are. Let's roll the beautiful bean footage again here and see what happens. To Alex, it's not beautiful. I think he puts it in the wrong gear for a second. This car is very tough sometimes, if you've never driven it, to enter a corner, especially under braking. And if you got a lot of rear brake in the car, it will spin out on you really quickly. That and if you try to downshift too quick. So the best battle on the track right now, we're going back to a fight that it's 2 seconds separation, but doesn't seem to be going anywhere apart anytime soon. Outside of Sebastian Blinken there, that's not good. Looks like Julian had a little off-track excursion, but he's going to be okay. One thing that can be misleading is on my scoring monitor over on my right-hand side here. It tells me when people go off, and it will say, like, so-and-so crashed. But then you go look at it, and they put 2 wheels off or something. Julian out here on his own little island right now. He's got 14 seconds to James Watson. He's got 16 seconds up to Craig Forsyth. That's kind of how most of this field is right now. It's kind of on their own little island. As Van de Sant crosses the line, 25 laps to go. All right, here comes Julian to pit road. So Julian stretching out the fuel as far as he can go here. And this might go ahead and help him become a two-stop race. As you see, Watson and Geisler are going to go by here on the front straightaway. Four tires and fuel going on for the 31 car. .2, and he pulls away. So again, next week, we'll take the week off here on the VOR IndyCar Series and come back for the 8th round of the championship. It is the 300 here at the Speedway on the Oval. Looking forward to putting that one on for you in 2 weeks here on the VOR YouTube channel, starting at, of course, 7:35 or 7:40 Eastern Time, somewhere in that range. James Watson under attack as Geisler has caught him. As they say, though, catching's one, passing's another. Ooh, Watson a little wide. That's going to let Geisler go by. Not exactly what the 31.9 wanted, but unfortunately mistakes do happen. Now, I get these tweets and messages and stuff during when things are released, like press releases and stuff, as Dakota DeMay is on pit road. And just saw an interesting... Oh, Matt Houston is spun out over near the Miller Lite party deck and stuff over near the... what is this lap? I think this is turn like 15 and 16 or so of the road course. Onto the front straightaway there as he goes around. Let's go to his teammate DeMay, who's on pit road. But Rinus VK in an article just kind of crossed this just now is James Watson has had issues and is towed to pit road. Not sure what's happened to the 39. But all of a sudden now attrition starting to make an appearance. What happened to the 39? Oh, geez. Oh, boy. That is, oh, boy, not good. Into the wall hard. It's the styrofoam area there. Just overcooked it, it looks like. And off the track he goes. Unfortunate situation. Right about where the chicane would be on the new track. Maybe that's what he was doing, trying to go to the chicane. So James Watson, unfortunately, out of the race. Still will get a top 10. So if there's a positive here. Now, I was starting to share this story. Rinus VK I was either asked a question or something, but he pointed it out on social media. He said, how hard is IndyCar oval racing? He said, I popped blood vessels on the right side of my body thanks to the G-forces during the test at Texas Motor Speedway. That's pretty impressive. You always wonder, of course, you think of Texas Motor Speedway, you think of the race a few years back that had to be canceled because they were just putting too much loads on their bodies in the car. As Alex locks up the right front there. And Cameron Boston just kind of gets out of the way there and lets Alex go on by. So right now we're looking at the top 5 have not been back to pit road since lap 20 or 21. So they should be coming in here in the next lap or two to get their last set of tires. Now for Alex, I think with him switching over the reds, he is going to probably go as long as he can on this set so that he does not have to go as long on the reds. We appreciate you watching here on the Velocity Online Racing YouTube page. If you're watching for the first time tonight, hit that subscribe button, and you can be a part of all the broadcasts that happen here on the channel. So 2 cars off the track now, Gary Godso and James Watson. And 6 cars left on the lead lap, Dakota DeMay being the last. You know, one cool thing I did get to do recently, actually, and kind of a fun race with some friends of mine, is I did get to run the open wheel car here over at a couple of tracks. Or Zandvoort being one. And I got to say, that's a very, very underrated track. That was a lot of fun. Zolder being the other. Two international tracks that I think would have some fun racing at. Of course, a lot of people disagree with me, which is fine. You know, some people like that track, some people don't like those tracks or whatever. Craig Forsyth about a second ahead of Matt Houston. There's Matt right there behind him. Both these guys yet to make their final pit stop here. As Thomas Geisler brings the 16 to pit road from the 7th position. Good opportunity here to see if Geisler will get jumped by Julian Altina for the second time. Of course, he pitted a lot earlier than everyone else, so he should be able to jump Geisler in the tires, or with the newer tires. There's Thomas entering his stall right now, and here comes Julian up the front straightaway. So once again, the undercut's going to work, and Julian's going to jump up to the 7th position now. Now, unfortunately for Julian, that's going to be the last spot he's going to be able to gain probably by doing the undercut. Is Dakota DeMay is his next competition. He's a full minute ahead, or just near a full minute, I should say. All right, let's check back on Forsyth here as this battle is really starting to get interesting now. All right, Sadiq's coming to pit road here, so let's jump up and take a look at the second place car on pit road. All right, Sadiq pulls into a stall. 4 tires, fuel, and switching over to the red sidewalls. And a 9.1 second stop. So now that leaves Van de Sant, of course, Kinder. Craig Forsyth and Matt Houston. The only 4 cars now who have not made that second and final pit stop. We get to the finish of this race. So we'll see when Sebastian and when Alex come to pit road here. That'll complete the pit stops for the guys up front. And like I said earlier, I think you're going to see the one car go as long as he can so that he can change out the tires and not have to go as long on the alternate reds. Matt Houston having issues off track. Doing his best version of not Alex Bowman, but the 14 car of Chase Briscoe in the Cup race last season. And Matt, I guess he had to slow down there. That's why he checked up. Craig Forsyth on pit road. And Craig pulls away. Matt Houston, Cameron Boston on pit road now. And now Sebastian Kinder coming to pit road. Right there, you got to be at 55 miles an hour. And what is considered the longest pit road, but not when it comes to the pit stalls. Let me back up. The longest pit road with the longest stalls, but the tightest pit stalls, believe it or not. As tires and fuel, and there goes the 97 off pit road. As Sadiq ran the fastest lap of the race just now at 25.3. He has got the purple time right now. Just trying to get everything he can get right now. .13 to go, and Alex continues on. Julian Altena back to pit road, so here is the third and final stop for the 31 car. And here comes Alex, so his final pit stop right now. Now, where's Nicholas Sadiq right now? He's on the Holman straightaway, so he has still got half the track to go before he can catch this one car. What happened there? 4 tires and fuel, and the car rolled forward a little bit. And there he goes, finally, 15-second stop. Well, if it went for a big lead, that's 2 chances now. Alex could have lost it with the spin and in that situation. And I bet you've I bet you've told me that before, haven't you? Thank you very much for your help. Sudik. It's been said to me so many times, but I'm sorry, Nick. I owe you one, buddy. Oh, Alex, hold on here. Oh, he's going to spin it out. In the same section he did earlier. And here comes Nick. Just a couple seconds behind here. There's Nick right there. This lead is now under 10 seconds. And once again, Alex is on the prime tires here. Sudik. No, Sudik. Yes. I appreciate it, man. Eyes. I'm actually writing it right now on a piece of paper. When all else fails, you phonetically write it on a piece of paper. Sudik. So we have to keep an eye now as Dakota DeMay's back on pit road here. As he makes his third stop. Dakota got his Echo Blade game on the way here very shortly. If you had a chance to go on and check it out on Steam, you can do so. He's been very patient in releasing that game. I know a lot of people have been anticipating it, but interesting, it was a penalty for going. He had to go down pit road there. Did he not slow down quick enough on a penalty? Because that's... I'll have to investigate that deal because I don't believe there's a live admin or anything. So he must have violated something on track and got an actual penalty for it. As Van de Sant, 24.25. That is called an angry lap. I mean, that is borderline Isaac Morris. That's what that is. Isaac, of course, part of Apex Sage Coaching and, of course, doing a lot of coaching of people who are trying to learn how to road race. He is very notorious for going out here in the middle of a race and we're thinking he's in trouble and he goes out and lays a lap down that has you shaking your head like, I could never do that. And Alex just did that. Hey, let's go back here. We got a battle for position shaping up here. So we got teammates. 5th and 6th now as Matt Houston approaches Dakota DeMay. Right behind them is their other teammate, Thomas Geisler, except he's 20 seconds back. But can Matt do something with Dakota here? As Dakota's got to be probably pretty angry too. Dakota's starting to stabilize that distance a little bit at about a second. Last time by, Alex, a 24.46. So he's 0.2 off his fastest lap. He's the only person to be in the 24s at all. As a matter of fact, let's put it to you like this. If you take away Alex Van de Sant on that last 2 laps, the fastest lap of this race right now is a 125.3 by Nick Sudik. Alex Van de Sant went 1.1 seconds faster. I mean, I'm not trying to harp on everyone and saying, look, Alex is that good. But you got to speak the truth to where the truth is. 8 laps to go. Once again, thanks to TrackCams 4 Gourmet and their cameras. You can check out at trackcams22.com if you're somebody who likes to show off video maybe on Discord with your friends and stuff or that kind of thing. You can actually check that out. TrackCams22.com on the forums. They put the closest thing to real-life cameras you will see. Now, tonight, unfortunately, was not able to run the cameras for the racetrack because they don't have the MotoGP cameras, but they do have the onboard race cameras as Sudik is going off track here for a quick second. But you get some really cool shots like, no, not that one, Scala, but this one. The helmet cam from Matt Houston. Push to pass on. Drove it in there pretty deep. Taking a little wide as he hits down a Holman straightaway there. Oh no, Sudik with issues. I think he just had a little spin. He gets it back going. What happened to the second place guy in points here? Oh, he just takes it wide. Looks like he's over near the back straightaway, the Holman straight as we call it. And now Julian Alton has gone off, and he's over on the oval, the back straightaway almost. I think he's got a GPS on right now trying to figure out, hey, how do I get back to this track? Oh, he's, okay. Nice move by Julian there. He's actually letting the other cars go on by. Julian just trying to get through this race, not feeling the best. So in 2 weeks, when we sit right here about this point in the evening, the question will be asked, will this man be winning a 4th straight Indianapolis 300 in this VOR IndyCar series? It is quite entirely possible. I talked about it last season, all the drivers that in real life tried to win 3 straight races in Indianapolis. And I'm talking on the Indy 500 side, obviously. Helio Castroneves couldn't do it. you think of all the 4-time winners. They were never able to win 3 in a row. You go back to the 1950s. One of the rare names that stick in my head, Bill Volkovich, had a chance to win 3 in a row. And unfortunately lost his life going for that 3rd win in a row. Yes, this is a simulator. It's not an actual real-life thing. I mean, it is real life. Consider we're sitting here technically racing with a wheel and pedals. But we're not in the car racing. So, yes, there's a little difference to it, but it still is something. We're out here racing other human beings. So there is a lot of credibility to it. Now, the one thing I'm going to point out here is this number here. You know, obviously, 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, I should say, as I take a look at something here really quickly. Of course, there was the streets of Long Beach, where Alex Van der Sant led 26 laps in that race. So if we put that in, unfortunately, I'd have to go back and look at the broadcast, which I might do that this week, and talk about how many laps he led in that race and when the last time he did not lead a lap is. Because I bring that number up because he led every lap in the Richmond race, and now he's 3 laps away from leading every lap in this race. So by the end of this, it's going to be at least 212 straight laps led in this series for Alex Van der Sant. And technically you could say 213 because he at least led the last lap at Long Beach. Final set of corners. He'll come down the straightaway here. 2 laps to go. Let's bounce back here to the teammates. Or actually, let's just move ahead a little bit because they're right here on the same straightaway. 1.3 seconds separating Dakota DeMay and Matt Houston. Yeah, no kidding. You see Matt lets him go on by. And through the final set of corners, I would say this. If I was a team owner, and there was I know there's an IndyCar series that runs like an open setup series or whatever that runs over the weekend and stuff, kind of like the NIS for NASCAR. If I had one that I could grab and run him in like the open series to get him to the top, this is my guy, obviously. But final lap here from Indianapolis, 2.57 miles left. Down the home and straight for the final time into the final set of corners. Gets a little slideways there. You know, it's interesting that outside of him running the number 1, normally he'll run the number 317. For those who don't know, the 317 is the area code of Indianapolis. And I think it's quite fitting because at this track and in this county, in the Circle City, this guy can be called Mr. 317. Van de Sant makes it 3 wins in 4 races and another win at Indianapolis. Oh, I agree on that 110%, Eyes. I would take Nick in a heartbeat, too. And I actually want to correct myself. I botched it. It's his 4th win in 5 races. Sudik finishes 2nd. How about Sebastian Kinder getting the top 3 finish? Great run for him. Craig Forsyth. Hey, that's the quietest 4th place run I've ever seen. Dakota DeMay probably going to be pretty disappointed in a 5th place run. Easily had a top 3 car. Hey, Jim, curiosity, how cold is it up in Indianapolis or up in Pendleton where you are right now? Oh, boy. That's one way of doing it. All right, let's take a look at the final standings tonight here in the Circle City. Van de Sant, 29 seconds over Sudik. Kinder, Forsyth, DeMay, Houston, Geisler, Altena, Cameron Boston, James Watson, and Gary Godso, the 11 racers tonight. And thank you, Dakota, for simulating what we will do here in 2 weeks, outside of ripping your fender off on the front stretch wall. I say that, Jim, because yesterday afternoon it was near 60 degrees here. That cold front came through here, brought some rain, and woke up this morning. It was 38 degrees. And I think it is already in the 20s right now. We had flurries a little bit ago. Yes, I know that's nothing compared to Indiana. And as you know, I've been up there with you. But for Georgia, it's flipping cold. It's definitely not cold right now in Sebastian's house. It is warm.
Yes, it is.
The man
I'm sweating.
It's sweating. The man with the same first name as my hometown in Florida, Sebastian.
Really?
I've never asked you your last name, how you pronounce it, so I just thrown it every way out there.
Kinder. It's
Kinder.
like the chocolate brand.
There's a chocolate brand
Yep.
in Kinder?
Yeah, this is the chocolate brand.
How the hell do I not know this? Anyways, Sebastian, great job, man. Great 3rd place run. The only thing I think you did more than keep it on track tonight is blink. But we won't talk about that. You did a great job tonight finishing in 3rd, man. Great race.
Oh my god. Yeah, I was sweating with that connection when I see some of those red numbers, to be honest with you. Oh, that was just a drive to survive race, and I was just so happy to finally get that first podium. I've been chasing for top 5 for so long. Got it one at Long Beach. Now I got my first podium at the next road course with that. Oh, it's so amazing to be fighting with guys like. Well, I was fighting with that Van de Sant, but just
you were hanging in there.
I was just back there. I was just doing a nice little cheeky battle with Dakota.
That was actually a pretty good battle. You two had a couple of passes of each other there midway through the race. But let's talk about the course here for a second, because this is one of those I talk about, like, tracks that you'll probably never ever see a combo like this in real life. So talk about, obviously this being the closest thing you're ever going to see to an IndyCar race at this track on this circuit, how much of a struggle it is.
Yeah, first, it's the layout has been designed for MotoGP.
Right.
Yeah, that and it feels very much like a bike track with the flow of the corners. That means if you do one mistake on one corner, you mess up the two that are the following after that, and it's very tough. Some of the corners, they are really tight. Last turn 13, and the turn entering the backstretch,
Mm-hmm.
they're so tight. Like the curb or wall is right in your face. So you better not do a mistake or it's the wall, like I did in qualifying in the backstretch.
You weren't the only one. I saw a lot of people hitting that, I guess what would be the chain link fence that's sitting there, and it was just ripping the tires off the cars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, still.
It's just, yeah.
Hey, man, you worked hard for it. You got that third place finish. Congratulations as you keep that momentum going. And shout out to whoever you like to, bud.
There's a lot of shout outs to do. So,
Let him rip.
yeah, grab a seat, grab popcorn and a Coke.
I'll be right
Shout
back
out
with a
to
drink.
National Racing Network. Shout out to National Racing Network, a big sponsor, MTW Long Companies, Premier Setup Shop, Martin Sports, check their gear out. Shout out to James Watson, my team owner, and all the guys at Team Watson Racing. They're awesome people and all that, and I'm very grateful to them. And also a little shout out to my sister. When she will get up, she will watch the race, and she will be so happy to later bravo the podium. So bonjour.
Awesome job, my man. Well, great job. Congratulations. Go celebrate and get some rest, too.
Yeah, yeah, because it's like 3 in the morning in France.
That's it. Yeah, it's early. Hey, good job. You too, buddy. Great job.
Nice.
Third place finisher, Sebastian Kinder. Like the chocolate. I never knew there was chocolate in Kinder. All right, let's bring up Sudik here in the 87 car tonight. Nick, great job finishing in second. Obviously, once again, it is situations where no matter what you did, you just wasn't fast enough to get to him. But you definitely showed tonight the speed on the road course.
Yes, thank you, Chris. I've put a lot of work into my my road racecraft, so it's beginning to work out. I mean, I have a long way to go still. Like, don't get me wrong, but grinding out a ton of practice laps for the 24 hours at Daytona helped a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I've been dabbling with other series too. It's good. I'm happy. I was honestly able to keep up with Alex for a while. Granted, I was on reds, he was on blacks, but towards the end, like I was able to, especially that first stint, I was able to save the tires.
Right.
And still keep pace. I maybe stayed out a lap extra than I should have, but I mean, it was the only chance I had, honestly. I had to go on an alternate strategy. There's not a lot of passing opportunities here, so I had to make it count. And I mean, it worked out in the end. P2,
Mm-hmm.
a good gap to Seb. I mean, who also ran a great race. So I'm very pleased, to say the least.
Let's talk about that opening run. You kind of mentioned it already, but you were able to hold steady with Alex. Was that more the him being on the alternate tires, you being on the primes, or I'm sorry, the vice versa? You being on the reds, him being on the primes for so long at that beginning?
I think I think it was just partially a matter of he probably was saving fuel just to cut down the runs, because the moment you overheat the way the tire model is, the alternate tires, the red tires, they just chunk away, just like locking up. Like the heat just takes away from the life so much in them, until you get them cool again. So he was probably taking advantage of that. That being said, I was holding with him on that last stint. I mean, the strategy was starting to come into play. He had an incident. I got back. And then as soon as he started to pull away again, he dropped the purple lap, and I was just like, okay, just salvage P2. So I just kind of went into just relax mode, just maintain the gap to Seb, and I even had an off track myself too. But it was, yeah. I mean, overall, like I said, I'm proud that I was of myself for being so bold. to take an alternate strategy. But yeah, I mean, it's I'm definitely getting more pace turning right as well as left. So
And that comes with time, man. So great job tonight. Congratulations on your P2. Unfortunately, you're going to lose a few more points tonight to the point leader, but still a great, successful night for you. And shout out to whoever you like to, bud.
yeah, Turn 4 Racing, the my wonderful partner Kelsey. Hello again. Hi, thank you. She's taking a TikTok of me.
Nice.
Premier Racing setups for taking me on board again and helping them test along with an old friend of ours, couple of friends of ours, including Watson, who races as well, and his team. Yourself, the admins, and yeah, and us standing with Ukraine as always too,
Absolutely.
because that's a big topic.
Well said.
And I have family heritage there, so I'm sure I have some extended family there. So it's a little bit of a sensitive spot for me right now, but yeah, no, and everybody for putting on this race and continuing on. Like I said, just the train keeps rolling, keep building that gap. I will gladly take a top 3 in the points, even if I have to finish second to my good friend Alex. I will gladly take that. So just keep having some fun here.
There you go, man. Well, great job tonight. And I must say, anytime somebody talks about social media in a way, I sit there and I think, okay, I try to picture it in my head. So I'm picturing you and Kelsey doing the TikTok video right now. And I must ask, because this is what came through my head. Are you doing the, what is it, the drop it low challenge? Where, like, you shoot the video and you have to, like, drop low or something, I think. I saw stuff like that on Twitter. I don't know.
If we do something like that, I'll tweet it out and I'll tag you in it immediately if that happens. So
I don't know. I've seen it on there and I'm like, what the hell? Anyways, all right, I'm gonna go from there. Well, great job tonight, man.
Thank you very much, Chris.
You too, bud. As Nick Sudik with the second place finish is get used to talking to Mr. Van de Sand again as he pulls out the victory tonight. Alex, I know you're happy winning, but something tells me the perfection in you is probably pretty mad right now.
Yeah, I wasn't happy with that driving, to be honest. Those 2 spins were pretty dumb. Didn't really need to happen, but yeah, like the second one, I was just trying to like set up a fast lap, and then I like just with the cold tires, the car was way tighter than I expected. I hadn't driven on that hot of a track, but yeah, it happens. I mean, I still won, so a win's a win. I'll take that no matter what.
Got to ask, the last pit stop, what happened there that caused you to delay for a second?
It didn't give me fuel the first attempt.
Oh.
I don't know why. I'm glad I caught it because I had like half a liter left.
Right.
But because that would have been really bad otherwise. But yeah, I had to just stop again and take the fuel that I needed. Not sure what that was about, but oh well. It didn't, no harm, no foul, I guess.
Yeah, I just saw you creep forward. I'm like, that's kind of weird. But needless to say, great job still, man. Way to carry it on. 4 wins in 5 races now as that momentum builds towards a 3-peat. But there's a certain race that could be a 4-peat in 2 weeks.
Yeah, Indy. I'll admit, Indianapolis on the oval has been very tough these last lately with how just iRacing's modeling it with the aero and the tires. There's something about it just makes it really, really tough. So yeah, going to be important to start up front and really try to control the race from the start.
There you go, man. Well, congratulations. Shout out to whoever you like to, bud.
Yeah, big thanks to elmcgear.com, Happy Trails Chili Company, and the admins at VOR for putting on another great season so far.
There you go, man. Well, great job tonight. Congrats on the win, and go enjoy yourself. Stay warm.
Thanks, Chris.
Absolutely, you too. Alex Van de Sant, the winner tonight in Indianapolis on the MotoGP course. Congratulations to him. As we wrap up here for the 3 weeks of the Circle City, I'm going to go hit up the mall, and which is, by the way, underground, in case you've never been there. And go hit up Champs there because they got some really good food. And I remember plenty of times I was in there eating while at the mall and enjoy myself. Going to enjoy the next couple weeks. St. Elmo's on the list. Trips to some old cities I used to live in on the list. I'm looking forward to it. Going to be fun. You guys go do the same. Stay warm, and like Nick said, continue to think about those over in Ukraine that are going through unfortunate circumstances there. Be with all those people there, and appreciate everybody watching. 2 weeks from now, 7:30, we'll be back on the air here on the VOR YouTube channel from Indianapolis for the 6th running of the 300-miler, and it will be a lot of fun. So enjoy your Saturday night, and always remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!